Thank you. Senator Cortez Masto.
Thank you. Thank you to the panelists. Congressman Brady, I'd like to start with you and talk a little bit about tourism. As you know, tourism is one of America's top exports, accounting for over $200 billion in value per year. Unfortunately, what we are seeing in Nevada and across the country, because of some of the rhetoric and bad policies of this administration, the number of international visitors who traveled to the U.S. in 2025 fell by 4.2%. That's the first decline since COVID-19. We've seen a particularly sharp decline in visitors coming from Canada because of the trade wars, as well as the rhetoric coming out of this administration. I recently introduced with Senator Moran the USMCA Travel and Tourism Resiliency Act to add a travel working group to the agreement to break down barriers to travel and improve coordination on travel policies in North America. What we are asking is that the trade representative, as part of the looking at the USMCA, consider a working group that focuses on tourism and travel as well with these two countries and how important it is for the United States. Do you think that this review represents an opportunity to reset and strengthen ties with Canada and Mexico and support U.S. services exports like tourism?
Senator, I would certainly hope so. International tourism is a big driver in so many of our communities, certainly in where I live in Texas, but where I grew up in the Black Hills of South Dakota. International tourism from around the world, including from Canada, was a big part of our economy, along with the military and agriculture. And so, yeah, I would hope that those types of discussions, initiated by Congress through your constitutional authority in this review, I think that's an important conversation, an opportunity, hopefully to gain back those visitors, and to grow from there. We are a great place to visit, as you know. This is really important to our economies. In states where we rely on property taxes, those visitors' taxes and restaurants and all that really help offset some of that as well. So it's a great part of our economy. I hope we can continue to grow it.
Yeah, and I would appreciate, because of your work and past work with the USMCA, thank you so much, and your knowledge. I know Senator Moran and I would welcome any input that you have with respect to creating this working group. It's going to be something new as part of the negotiations or renegotiations as we're looking at USMCA. But I think it is also a marker that this trade agreement and other trade agreements should also have something similar, a travel and tourism piece to it, because I think many ignore the impacts of travel and tourism to our economy. It's $1 trillion industry. It is something important for many of our states. It creates jobs, it helps our small businesses, and it promotes the United States and how wonderful this country is. So whatever thoughts you have in the future, I would appreciate.
Thank you,
so
Senator.
Thank you.
Be happy to.
Thank you. Mr. McCarthy, let me ask you, when the U.S. agreed to the USMCA, part of the agreement that we memorialized in a letter was that the United States would exclude most vehicles and auto parts from future Section 232 tariffs. The letters were actually signed by President Trump's former trade representative, Robert Lighthizer, to whom our current trade representative was chief of staff. The current 232 imposed by the administration auto tariffs completely ignores these binding agreements they signed in the first term. I'm curious, how have these actions affected business certainty, sourcing decisions, and investment planning?
Well, thank you for the question, Senator. Tariffs are certainly a concern for us, as with all manufacturing industries. We have an incredibly complex global supply chain.
Thank you very much. So we do rely on inputs to produce in the U.S., and that's one of the reasons when I speak with our members, the issue you talk about of certainty, their number one priority as they look to 2026 is USMCA. Having that certainty going forward and having that continuity. We have incredibly long investment cycles. 3 years is yesterday, and forward is yesterday for us. And the USMCA has enabled us to build those secure, local, resilient supply chains. It's been an enabler for us to be more competitive globally. So we validated it with our board, our CEO councils, Their big answer, their number one priority, they tell us, is we need that continuation of USMCA. We need that certainty so we can continue the job growth that I talked about. We can continue that investment going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Senator Whitehouse.
First, let me welcome